Have you ever thought that the state where dreams are made might also be hiding an unprecedented crisis? Today, we're diving into how California, the land of innovation, glamour, and breathtaking scenery, is grappling with challenges ranging from a soaring homeless crisis to the relentless threat of rising sea levels. Get ready to uncover the secrets behind the golden glow that's slowly fading. Right now, California leads the nation in homelessness and has seen 265 companies pack up and leave since 2018. Sitting right on the active San Andreas Fault, the state's structural issues have only worsened thanks to the pandemic. According to the Los Angeles Times, between July 2020 and July 2021, the population dropped by over 170,000 residents, a decline driven by lower immigration, fewer American babies, and of course, the pandemic's impact. For millennials, owning a home in California has become an increasingly distant dream. Today, property prices in the state can be more than double those in other major cities. As The Guardian points out, we're facing a crisis like no other. Street deaths are on the rise. College students are forced to live in their cars, seniors are losing their homes, and makeshift camps are popping up on beaches, parks, under overpasses, in empty lots, and on sidewalks. And if you think the people are suffering, just wait until you see the environmental challenges looming on the horizon. Severe drought, water shortages for booming metropolises, and the relentless rise of the sea level, coupled with the geological risks of being perched over one of the world's most notorious fault lines, paint a complex picture. And if that wasn't enough, our fast-paced, self-focused society, fueled by social media, often seems to overlook these critical issues. For nearly a century, California was synonymous with economic and cultural diversity, attracting investors and immigrants from all over the world. After a post-war boom that birthed tech innovation and entertainment industries, the state ranked among the richest in the world. What once seemed like a fairy tale of prosperity is now revealing its scars. So, the question remains, how long can this prosperous facade hold up? To understand the roots of these problems, we have to look back in time. Known as the Golden State, a nickname earned during the mid-19th century gold rush, California enjoyed its glory days, even weathering the Great Depression of the 1930s while boosting its quality of life indices. During World War II, the state became a critical industrial hub, hosting major aircraft and shipyards. In the 50s and 60s, academic research spurred technological advances and urban growth, laying the groundwork for Silicon Valley, where pioneers like William Hewlett and David Packard established HP, while Los Angeles blossomed as the movie capital, home to iconic studios like Metro, Warner Brothers, and Disney. The film industry evolved with cutting-edge special effects, moving beyond the simple slapstick comedies of earlier decades. Then, in the 80s, a population boom and the emergence of new urban centers like San Diego and San Francisco reshaped California's financial landscape. Unlike much of the country, California sidestepped economic stagnation thanks to policies, controversial as they might be, that kept the market dynamic. At the turn of the century, an abundance of natural resources and technological expansion attracted talent from across the globe. Los Angeles, in particular, became the most ethnically diverse metropolis in the nation, contributing a staggering $395 billion to the U.S. GDP between 2001 and 2018. With so many highly skilled people flocking in, it seemed nothing could slow this thriving economy. Yet reality shows that not everything is sunshine and rainbows. Today, the cost of living, from housing and services to even a simple trip to the grocery store, has skyrocketed. In some areas, prices can be up to 33% higher than in other parts of the country. The pandemic only worsened the situation. California's Department of Job Development reported a loss of 3 million jobs, especially in sectors reliant on face-to-face interaction and travel, which ground to a halt in March 2020. This unemployment surge has laid fertile ground for the homeless crisis, which hit 161,000 people in 2020, placing California near the top of national rankings, trailing only New York and Hawaii in terms of homeless per 10,000 residents. In Los Angeles County, factors like financial hardships, family conflicts, substance abuse, divorce, and mental health issues only compound the problem. While temporary shelter programs provide short-term relief, they often fail to address the root causes and can even spark further tensions by treating people impersonally. If you think California's troubles are unique, consider that the lack of affordable housing is a nationwide issue. According to the National Alliance to End Homelessness and the National Low-Income Housing Coalition, only 7.4 million homes are affordable for 11 million extremely low-income renters. States like Nevada and California are hit particularly hard, with just 18 and 23 affordable homes per 100 low-income renters, respectively. Meanwhile, skyrocketing living costs, from astronomical home prices to sky-high property taxes, are driving people to areas where housing is more affordable. Immigration policies add another layer of complexity. Delays and the loss of 53,000 international students, combined with a dip in domestic immigration, have contributed to population fluctuations. Walter Schwarm, chief demographer at the Department of Finance, reminds us that immigration fueled much of the last decade's growth. And until that trend reverses, California's population is likely to keep changing. Understanding who is leaving and why is crucial for crafting more effective fiscal, tax, and immigration policies. After all, lumping people into mere statistics ignores the personal stories behind the struggle to keep a roof over one's head. And while we work on solutions, a far greater threat looms: rising sea levels. California's famed coastal properties, worth millions and prized for their beachfront views, are slowly being reclaimed by the Pacific Ocean. NASA reports that about 8 million people live in areas where the land is sinking, with cities like San Diego and Los Angeles at risk. Scientists, including Philip King from the University of San Francisco, predict that sea levels could rise by up to 1 meter by 2100. In just over 75 years, entire coastal cities could vanish. And it's not just homes that are at stake. Highways, sewage systems, and airports may also face severe disruptions, triggering profound economic fallout. Some officials are even discussing relocation plans for the most vulnerable areas, though consensus on the best approach is still far off. Climate change has been impacting California for decades. Known as America's Garden for its huge agricultural output, responsible for 2/3 of the nation's fruit, the state has poured millions into reservoirs, dams, water recycling systems, and pipelines connecting different regions. Yet, global warming is triggering extreme weather patterns, prolonged droughts, and an increase in the frequency and intensity of wildfires, like the devastating blazes of 2020 that even reached the East Coast. Dwindling reservoir levels are even threatening hydroelectric power, which in turn affects commerce and tourism. It's not just citizens who are feeling the heat. Businesses are packing up too. A Stanford University study found that nearly every industry is relocating its headquarters to states like Texas, Arizona, and Nevada in search of more flexible work environments, a better quality of life, and lower costs for housing, services, and food. Hollywood, once the undisputed film capital, has seen production drop by 60% over the past 15 years as studios move to places offering better tax incentives. Trailblazers like HP have already left, and even Elon Musk recently announced that Tesla will shift its operations to Austin, Texas, citing the unbearable cost of living in Silicon Valley. Beyond high taxes, where rates can soar up to 13.3%, and, as economist Dan Mitchell notes, scare off investors, a climate of insecurity is brewing. In Los Angeles, homicide rates have jumped over 10%, and gun-related robberies have surged by more than 20%, according to the local police department. This spike, alarming residents and business owners alike, from trendy spots like Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills to everyday neighborhoods, has sparked debates about whether recent criminal justice reforms, which aimed to reduce incarceration for nonviolent crimes, are inadvertently fueling organized crime. Yet not everyone is throwing in the towel. Thad Cousser from UC San Diego shared that a recent survey still finds Californians view their state as the land of opportunity, particularly among the wealthy. On the flip side, Cornell University sociology professor Cristobal Young pointed out that in the first quarter of 2021, venture capital accounted for 48% of all U.S. funding in California, a stark contrast to just 3% in Texas. This dichotomy shows that while many forces continue to drive California forward, the everyday challenges, soaring taxes, steep living costs, and public safety concerns, are weighing heavily on its people. When you add all these factors together, it becomes clear. California stands at a crossroads. What was once a beacon of prosperity, innovation, and diversity is now wrestling with issues that hit home for both its quality of life and economic competitiveness. The old Golden State sees its shine dimming under the burden of heavy taxes, red tape, and seemingly endless environmental challenges. To turn the tide, both government and the private sector will need to reprioritize and craft solutions that address people's needs in a more compassionate, human way. So, can these changes reconnect individual dreams of quality living, real opportunities, and safety with the enduring potential that California still holds? The answers might not be simple, but they lie at the heart of reversing this troubled scenario. Enjoyed this deep dive? Then hit that like button, leave your comments with your thoughts or questions, and share this video with anyone who needs to get the real picture of what's happening in California. Who knows? Your question might be featured in our next video.